Distinguished participants, it's a great pleasure and privilege for me today. It's the anniversary of the second İnönü victory today, as you know. And I thank you, Mr. Gökçekuş, for your invitation. I'm going to talk about the geopolitical integrity of the motherland, Blue Homeland, and Tiran Sea today. Humanity is entering a new phase of history. As you all know, the world order established after the World War II has undergone dramatic changes. First, we saw the Cold War and bipolar world order until 1989 with relatively stable and calm conditions, thanks to checks and balances of the two superpowers. Then came the collapse of Soviet Union and the rise of new American century, however, with a short duration. Its paradigm was based on the neoliberal, capitalist and democratic order. Some scholars exaggerated feat of the Soviet bloc by liberal democratic order, so they named this phase as the end of history. That paradigm, bankrupted after the destructive effects humanity has suffered in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, and Yemen and Syria. Then came the rise of China with Russian backing. Now the global order is being reshaped by the tectonic, social, economic, and political changes. The world population grows rapidly while middle classes see 265 new additions every minute, which can be translated as new housing, transportation, energy, consumer products, etc. The rise of middle classes, particularly in Eurasian landscape, energizes the economic growth and national strength. The rise of China, India, and Russia in many fields is now creating the new conditions for the change of world order. This also reminds us that every 150 years or so, world hegemony changes. This change takes place in the ocean domain. Who controls the ocean dominates the world order. Now this paradigm has been reboosted with the addition of seabed hydrocarbons to the world energy output. Controlling the seaways and choke points is not enough. The hegemon should control the seaborne energy resources. Today, 30% of the oil and 50% of the natural gas are extracted from the seabed. This is exactly what happens in our geography. The Mediterranean is the smallest sea area of the blue planet with 1% share from the oceans and the seas. However, it controls almost 30% of the world shipping, as well as 20% of world sea transportation of oil. Cyprus, as a geographical entity striding amidst the Suez Canal, Sicily, and Turkish Straits, has played a major geopolitical role, especially after the construction of Suez Canal. The influence of a canal over the world history could not be exemplified better and starker than the relationship with Suez Canal with Cyprus Island. That importance doubled during the Cold War when the two blocs tried to contain each other in an area covering Middle East, Caucasus, and Balkans. This era has witnessed Arab-Israeli wars, Cyprus civil war, Turkish peace operations in Cyprus, and Lebanon civil war during the Cold War. Post-Cold War period has brought more turmoil into the region following the imposition of Greater Middle East and North Africa initiative by the United States. The destructive avalanche effects of the Desert Shield and Desert Storm, along with enduring freedom and Iraqi freedom operations conducted in Afghanistan and Iraq respectively, as well as Libya operations of UK, France, and US-led coalition, are still felt bitterly with ongoing terror, civil strife, refugee flow, and illegal migration, and cannibalizing the national resources of the said countries. The Syrian civil war had ramifications for Turkey as well as Cyprus as the Mediterranean littoral, with far more serious results which will continue in the foreseeable future. These hegemonic external interventions have created unfavorable geopolitical conditions for Turkey as well as TRNC, thus making the Eastern Mediterranean one of the unstable centers of gravity in Eurasian landscape. This complex environment was exacerbated after the Israeli, Egyptian, and Greek Cypriot discoveries of gas fields in the seabed after 1999. Today, Turkish geopolitical future is facing three-dimensional security concerns, which are interrelated. The first issue is the Turkish maritime jurisdiction area, which is contested by Greece, Israel, Greek Cypriots, and Egypt under the supportive umbrella of European Union and United States. The second issue is the potentiality of a so-called independent Kurdistan with free access to the sea, and the third issue is the future of TRNC with geopolitical implications for Turkey. Since the beginning of the 21st century, we began to see self-declared EU European Union imposed map of Mediterranean maritime delimitation, initially originated from the University of Seville in Spain. This unfortunate map appeared almost, and still appears, almost in every EU agency websites and official EU documents. This map carves out almost 100,000 square kilometers from Turkey's continental shelf and future exclusive economic zone. The two reasons for this geopolitical theft was the existence of Castellarosi Mace Island with 9-kilometer coastline versus 1,700-kilometer long Anatolian coastline, as well as oversized maritime area demands of Greek Cypriots with the same mentality. Turkey's response to these unjust, unfair, unprecedented claims is threefold. The first is the diplomatic notes to United Nations. The second is increased naval existence. And the third, to conduct seismic research and explorations in Turkish and Cypriot continental shelves for both Turkey and TRNC. We have to add to these two works on establishment of a naval base at TRNC, as well as concluding a delimitation agreement between TRNC and Turkey in the northern adjacent sea area. Although these actions prevent de facto infringements over the Turkish continental shelf for EEZ, especially in the so-called Greek Cypriot 1, 4, 5, 6, and 7 numbered license zones, where there are overlaps, they continue to adhere to the unofficial EU delimitation map based on Greek and Cypriot claims, disregarding Turkish legitimate rights. It seems that diplomacy or international relations, which should be based on fair sharing, equity, mutual understanding, and respect to international law, do not work here, as the problem drives itself to a zero-sum game quagmire. If we add TRNC rights over the already explored or ready to exploit hydrocarbon resources by Greek Cypriots to this problem area, we are faced a multifaceted and multi-directional conflict which supersedes and transforms the Cyprus settlement problem into a new one at the seafront. We can say that the new problem, compared to the existing Cyprus settlement issue, is much more volatile and explosive, since it transcends from a domestic problems in an island into a very complex sovereignty disputes among Turkey, Greece, Greek administration of southern Cyprus, involving a tug of war for rich energy resources. Regrettably, Greek Cypriots and Greece, both as proxy states for EU and USA, were able to transform maritime jurisdiction area problem into an anti-Turkish coalition formation. In the last 2 years, believe it or not, there had been 20 maritime exercises aiming Turkey, almost every month. Unimaginable. This issue has now become a crucial struggle for Turkey's blue motherland. It is unknown how to solve this quagmire because any concession from Turkish continental shelf or EEZ here is unacceptable to Turkish nation, let alone Turkish government. We never forgot the lost islands and islets in the Aegean Sea during Balkan and World War I due to weak, almost non-existing Turkish sea power then. Now, conditions are totally different. In the past, in the first quarter of 20th century, we, the Turks, were faced with the Sèvres Treaty, which aimed to disintegrate Turkish existence in the motherland. In the first quarter of 21st century now, we are faced with second Sèvres, which carves out our blue homeland. This new geopolitical reality will shape Turkey's 21st century foreign, defense, and security policies, or in sum, Turkish geopolitics. We shall not yield. In this struggle, TRNC, Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, plays an indispensable role as Turkish troops here does not only provide security for Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus people, but provides deterrence for Turkish and TRNC blue homeland. Under these dire geopolitical conditions, abandoning TRNC or abandoning our security forces guarantee here means capitulate to Greek and Cypriot demands from Turkish blue homeland too. For an energy-hungry Turkey with 82 million people and $50 billion energy bill, no one can expect such eventuality. Turkey has suffered arms embargo, severe economic crises, and Armenian terror after the Cyprus peace operations, but we prevailed. In 21st century, as we integrate homeland, blue homeland, and Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus with unbreakable bonds, we shall prevail for good. As a last item, I would like to show you the Turkish Navy's fleet disposition during the Blue Homeland exercise of last month. Believe me, as I said, the conditions are totally different now. We have a very strong Navy, we have a very strong national power. Thanks for your patience.